we need an extra little touch of spice. Voila!
Welcome to Salem. We're going to let you try one of our very special top secret recipes. We entered this one in the Summer Cookoff contest. And
So it's not so secret anymore.
it's delicious. That's all you need to know, is that it's very delicious. And we're going to show you how to make it here at home. And she's rude. That's the other thing you need to know.
Hopefully you figured that out by now.
So let's get started, shall we? Today we're going to be making a tea-infused pumpkin creme brulee,
Exciting.
which we decided to make based off of the tea shop that you see in Salem and the pumpkins everywhere. And we wanted something that would combine the two. And I just really, really wanted creme brulee. So that's how we got to that decision. Anyway, let's get going. The amount of creme brulee that we're gonna make, it'll make 2 good to large sized portions or 3 medium to small. So first we're gonna whisk together our items that are gonna go into our cream base. First thing you're gonna need is 5 tablespoons of sugar. We're also gonna add just a touch of salt, 3/8 of a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Mix those together. Smells really good already. Smells like pumpkin spice. And we're also going to add 3 egg yolks to this.
Oh, I hate raw egg on my hand.
With our sugar and egg mixture, we're also going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. You do want to make sure that you beat this together pretty well because we want the eggs blended up into everything. Meanwhile, we're going to start heating our cream. We do want to bring that to steaming on the stove top before we add our other ingredients. You're going to want 1 1/4 cups of cream. And we're going to heat this over about medium. Meanwhile, you're going to get your oven heating to 325. So since we are doing tea-infused creme brulee, at this point, now that you've got your cream in the pot, you're going to take either 1 tea bag, standard black tea, or in my case, I have some loose leaf I want to use, so I'm just going to put enough loose leaf tea for 1 cup of tea in a tea ball and put that in there. And we're going to leave it in there the whole time that we're heating our cream so that it gets a little bit of a tea flavor to it. If you're using the tea bag versus the tea ball, the step is the same. Just put that on in with your cream. The only thing is there, you might want to like swish it around a little bit more, and at the end, once the cream is steaming, you're probably going to want to take your tea bag and squeeze it out just to make sure you get all the tea flavor into the cream, because the tea bags, the reason I'm not using that today is because mainly it's a finer mesh to the tea bag paper than it is to the tea ball, so the cream is heavy enough that it has to work a bit harder for it to steep out into it. But it'll still work. I've done it with the tea bag before, it worked fine. Just like stir it a little bit more. Just try to like smush it in there a bit without breaking the bag. That's really all you're after. And now we wait. So we're just gonna stir our cream every minute or so while it heats up until it reaches steaming, just to make sure it does heat evenly and it doesn't start to stick at all on the bottom. So the cream has started to steam. Actually, it very slightly started to simmer before we caught it. So we went ahead and cut that off. We're now going to take our tea out, set that to the side. I'm just going to swish it a little bit more to make sure we get plenty of tea flavor in here. So now that we've heated our cream, we're going to pour and whisk in our pumpkin sugar mixture. So our mixture is ready to go at this point. Yay! Now we are going to take our containers and divide it up into there. These containers are a little small, and we're gonna do one of these shallow ones for display purposes for our entry photo. For baking these, we're not gonna put them straight on the racks. We're gonna do them in a water bath. So I have some dishes to put them into. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pour water in these containers until it's about halfway up the sides of our containers. About halfway up the sides of our ramekins, rather.
And then we're gonna pop these babies in the oven.
You want them about the middle of the oven. The green dishes are definitely a lot more of a thick layer of creme brulee in there. We're going to let those go for about 40 to 45 minutes, but our shallow white dish, we'll probably check on that in about 20 to 25 minutes just because it's such a thin layer. But yeah, for a regular amount, if you're doing this batch as 2 servings, then I would say let it go for at least 40 to 45 minutes before you even check on it. It's going to need at least that long. As for when you'll know to take them out, you'll be able to tell that it's time to take them out when you go and check on them, and it's kind of set up around the edges, but the inside is still just a little bit jiggly in the center when you move the pan, but you don't want it like super jiggly. Otherwise you're going to have super runny creme brulee when you're done, which is still delicious, but you're probably going to want more like a pudding texture.
Yeah.
These look good. Alright, so if you can see on camera, there's that little bit of jiggle in the middle, but in general they're set up around the edges. So what I'm going to do now is take these out of the container of water, and we're going to let them sit in the fridge for a minimum of 2 hours to get them nice and cold in the middle.
Hello, we're back.
It's been 2 hours, our brulee is cold, and now we are going to do my favorite step, which is we're going to put the sugar on top and melt that to form that nice glass-like layer that's so much fun to break through with a spoon. But we thought it would be interesting to try, I'm not sure how this is going to work out yet, to try doing a shaped sugar design on top. So since we're doing a Midnight in Salem brulee, we've got a little pumpkin stencil we're going to lay on the top. We're just going to start off with one of these. We're going to lay it on the top, fill in the hole with sugar, and see how that goes. So you're going to want your oven rack moved to the highest position and the oven set on broil first. For each of these, you're going to use just a little bit under a teaspoon of sugar for the top. We have our pumpkin sugar design, and we're going to put this in the oven right under the broiler. So the thing about using the oven broiler instead of a blowtorch to melt our creme brulee sugar is that you're going to want to watch this very carefully. We're going to let it go for about 2 minutes, or not even that. We'll let it go for a minute before we check on it, and then we're going to check on it every few seconds until we can tell that the sugar is melted, because if you leave it for even a few seconds too long, it can start to burn. And then you'd have burnt sugar on top of your brulee, which
isn't actually
if it's just a
awful.
little bit burnt, it's still not bad, but you don't want to let it get too far. One thing that I will note is, so we're doing 2 taller ramekins, and then the small one, if you're actually making it to eat and not mainly to take photos of like we're focusing on today, then I wouldn't do something this shallow, because by the time that you get the sugar melted on top, it's going to be hot all the way through. And one of the best things about creme brulee is you get that hot layer on top, but it's still cold underneath. You're not gonna get that using something as shallow as this. So if you're making it in the oven, I recommend doing a taller dish. Our design on top didn't exactly go as planned.
No, the sugar just kind of went everywhere.
So this is what we're working with. Still good, but you can't really tell that we did a shape design. So we're gonna sprinkle sugar on top of the other 2 like normal, and throw those in the oven and broil them, and then we'll get ready to sample. Let's give it a taste.
Alright, let's.
But first for the most fun part.
The good thing about a shallow,
Nice
you get
little
more sugar crunch
jelly
on
bit
it.
and nice sugar on there. It tastes like Thanksgiving.
But not like turkey gravy.
No, like pumpkin and pumpkin spice.
Yeah. I think like all the fall flavored things they come up with. But like better.
Definitely better.
Those are always so overkill. This is like a nice light flavor.
Despite the fact that it does have a fair amount of sugar in it, it's not tooth-achingly sweet. And the tea is a nice little like background note in there. So you kind of tell there's something a little bit different going on rather than just pumpkin, which you can get a little burnt out on in the fall.
It's quite nice. It's a very mellow flavor. I like it. But it's like more flavor than just a regular
just like
creme brulee.
Does it make sense to call a flavor relaxing? To me, it's a relaxing flavor.
I think it does.
Like, if I was gonna do a Sunday morning brunch, but eat dessert for brunch, this is what I would want.
I could do that.
It's just relaxing, comforting, and just nice. And she's gonna make sure not a single bit of melted sugar goes to waste.
But of course not.
That was a very special secret creation for Midnight in Salem. I think it definitely lived up to what I wanted to create for this game. This isn't goodbye forever by any means, because if you've learned anything from sticking with us throughout this journey, it's that we really like to eat good food, and that's not gonna change anytime soon. Bye.